You may have heard of brain fog, or you may have had it. But what is brain fog? What causes it? And what are my top 7 nutritional solutions or foods for it? That's what I'll be covering in today's video. Hi, I'm Sheridan Genrich, naturopath and clinical nutritionist, and I want to thank you for taking the time out to watch this video today. I'll go into more detail in a minute. So what is brain fog? Essentially, it's brain fatigue, and it's a common symptom usually related to chronic fatigue or digestive disorders. Many people describe it as going blank when trying to remember someone's name, remember words, maybe not being able to focus, forgetting tasks that are on your list, or trouble making small decisions. Sometimes there can be headaches and even migraines or vision problems in more severe cases. Brain fog isn't a specific medical condition. Our brains have inbuilt designs for keeping things in balance, and when we're given the right nutrients and other supports to do that, the brain wants to keep in balance. But when our brain chemistry is out of balance, we're unable to feel our best or think clearly. So the best remedy is to give the brain what it needs and avoid the triggers or obstacles that block the brain from being able to function well. So what causes brain fog? Essentially, there are many underlying causes, but inflammation is the main one in the research. So our brains are about 60% of fat tissue. So when there's an imbalance in the essential fats, I'll go into those in a minute, or too many toxins, then this creates an excessive amount of inflammation. So inflammation is thought to arise by the reduced blood flow in the brain, and this causes problems with the brain cells sending and receiving information. So in over 12 years of clinical practice, aside from ruling out dehydration, lack of sleep, or certain medications that can be causing brain fog for a patient, the most consistent cause I've noticed is with wildly fluctuating blood glucose levels. So unless someone is metabolically adapted, the main source of energy to the brain is glucose. So with dips in blood glucose in the body, this is going to directly cause brain fatigue in many people. So a roller coaster ride of glucose usually goes hand in hand with a rise and fall of insulin, and that's the hormone that allows glucose into the cells. So particularly for women over 40 or around menopausal age, this is really common because of the hormone changes, and I do cover that in another video you can check out below. So essentially, for every human brain though, there are 3 key things that it wants. It needs oxygen, and this, the iron is what's carrying in the red blood cells, carries this for us. So we also need stable blood glucose, and that's from nutrients that the brain needs. We also need stimulation. That's for our grey matter in the brain. So learning, imagination, things that keep us interested in life. That's what's going to keep the brain healthy as well. So challenging it a little. My top 7 foods for helping brain fog. At number 1, I have wild salmon. The reason being that wild salmon is especially high in a form of omega-3 called DHA. And this has a major anti-inflammatory benefit for the brain. And there are actually 3 forms of omega-3, but DHA is only found in salmon and some microalgae. So the chia seeds and flax seeds, they don't have any DHA for the brain. So that's for the membranes. The membranes need to stay flexible and not rigid, and that's what the omega-3s do. This allows good blood flow between the brain cells. Salmon is also great for the neurotransmitters because it's a protein source. Number 2 would be my 2 favourite herbs and spices. They go together for brain function. It's rosemary and turmeric. So rosemary has been used traditionally for thousands of years. There's so much evidence that it protects brain function. But the newest evidence I found really interesting is that it helps reduce the amyloid plaque buildup in Alzheimer's patients' research. So that's really great that it's being shown to have some benefit there, obviously at a therapeutic level. And it's also a cognitive stimulant. So that means it enhances concentration, memory, and alertness. And this is also an antioxidant for the brain. Then the second favourite spice here is turmeric. So turmeric is really high in curcumin, and that's an anti-inflammatory component of the spice. The way it helps with brain function, I did cover in detail in another video, but essentially the BDNF is like brain fertilizer for the brain cells, and this is what turmeric is now being shown to help with. It's also an anti-inflammatory as well. It helps with making better decisions because it increases the growth in the hippocampus region of the brain. So number 3 is a broader version of just protein-rich foods in general. So this is my 3rd favourite food for the brain. This helps us build our neurotransmitters. They're based on protein, amino acids, and the best sources are found in grass-fed red meat, which is also high in B12. You can get some protein in free-range chicken and also eggs. They're the best sources. Eggs are wonderful for the brain because of also their choline content. Choline is responsible for flexible cell membranes, and mainly because it's a building block for acetylcholine, which is for memory and learning. And number 4 would be dark green leafy vegetables. So these are really high in folate, or B9, and this is really important for DNA repair, and it's also building neurotransmitters because of the methylation cycle. So dark green vegetables are also high in magnesium and chlorophyll. They're also able to feed our gut bacteria. So that's wonderful for producing butyrate, which is an anti-inflammatory short-chain fatty acid. So number 5 would be walnuts, and this is because they are high in one source of omega-3 called ALA. That's just the shortened version. They're also high in vitamin E, which keeps your membranes again stay flexible. And in nature, it was always thought through historical medicine that the sign of a food would help that particular brain function. So if you look at a walnut, it kind of looks like a human brain. And this is a good sign as well. Soaking them for easier digestion is definitely recommended with your nuts. Number 6 is the blueberries. They are very high in a type of antioxidant called anthocyanins. A 2021 study found that this helps with the hippocampus region of the brain, again for memory and learning. So they also help with their anti-inflammatory properties as well. At number 7 is water. Well, it's technically not a food, but it's an essential nutrient for the brain. And research shows that if dehydration is chronic, then it can actually lead to brain shrinkage. because it increases the volume of the brain's ventricles. So that's not a good thing. And that will definitely cause brain fog as well as worsening symptoms. Ideally, the overall solution with nutrition for the brain is to balance out the two extremes. We want to avoid the excesses and the deficiencies in the brain. And so that means a healthy diet includes avoiding the inflammatory triggers, which many of us know is ultra-processed foods, sugars in different forms that are hidden in our processed foods, and coffee in excess or alcohol in excess. So that's just some key strategies. In another video, I can go into brain-targeted nutrients, like the supplements, so that we can use for fast-acting appetite control. So if you've benefited from this video, please like, subscribe, and comment below if you want to see more of this type of thing. Thanks for watching, and until next time, be well.